Hey guys, Jill and Melissa from New Digs here. We're visiting Broadfield Farm in Norfolk, Connecticut.
We're here to meet Kristen Mudge, who grows some organic veg that is amazing. It's sort of a legend in Norfolk at the farmers market for the past decade or so. And we're going to go see how she does her tomatoes in particular in her hoop houses. Hi, we're here at Broadfield Farm talking to Kristen Mudge about her tomatoes and vegetables here in Norfolk. And we're just taking a look at her interesting setup for how she does her vegetables. So it looks like you've got everything on a drip irrigation.
We do. Yeah, we actually just finished getting that all set up. And that was a
pretty
big moment.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, and actually this year I added this fancy addition, the tray on the bottom, because otherwise it was just dripping through and it would go out and
We lost.
be lost, and we weren't getting good root growth. So this year, this seems to be working better. Because the plants are sort of stressed growing in the bags anyway, in our experience.
So these are the air bags that are, the air can, it sort of keeps them the roots air prone in a way.
I'm not sure what it does, to be honest with you. But I did notice when I pulled them out last year, they had hardly any root growth at all. And it was just really hard to keep them properly watered. And this seems to be working because it gathers down there and then it can soak up.
Sure.
But as you can see,
you're never going to get them waterlogged that way.
No, that's true. But you can see how much more these have grown over here in this bed.
Okay, so these...
And they were planted at approximately the same time.
Right.
So they really prefer to be in the ground.
Sure.
But we didn't have, if we do another row of these, we won't be able to pull the tractor around. So we thought we would just try to put some in the bag. So we get some growth on these, it's just not as prolific as.
So you're trying to maximize the amount of space you have in a hoop house, so you get an early start.
Yes.
But still be able to get a tractor in here and treat it almost.
Yes, because we're getting older and we really don't like all this wheelbarrowing. It's kind of a pain in the neck. So if we can get the tractor in to dump the dirt, and then when we have to change the dirt out, we can bring the tractor in and just shovel into the tractor bucket.
So where's the soil coming from? I mean, is it a mix?
We order it.
Okay.
Yeah, we order a mix. That's, I can't remember what he did this year, 40-60, I think, compost topsoil.
Okay.
So you're doing it in a hoop house, but you're doing it in the raised beds.
Yep.
But since you're doing the same crops here every year, you're bringing in fresh.
Well, I'm trying to start rotating.
Oh,
so we
okay.
have the 3 greenhouses, and I've been trying hard to rotate them out, but I think I didn't rotate for too long in those, and I'm starting to have problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what we're going to do next year is take all the beds out of there. I don't know if you're going to take any pictures of that, but I think we're going to take those all out and do the same kind of thing that we did in here.
And when you say problems by not rotating, you mean like disease?
Disease, insects. It's hard to keep ahead of that. So.
Are all the tomatoes the same kind, or
No.
they must be all different?
They're all
cultivars?
different kinds. And it's funny, this year I'm going to have them scattered because I knew that these would grow the best. So I did 3 of each small variety and 6 of each mid-sized variety, and then a bunch of 4 or 5 beds of just the ones that are our biggest sellers, the big beef, that I also can.
You do a lot of heirlooms too, right?
I do. I don't do as many as I used to, but I do a good number of them.
You do what works in our area.
Exactly.
That's smart. You learn from history.
Yeah. I grow enough heirlooms that people can eat them fresh.
Yeah.
And they really like them, but I can't preserve them in the same way because they're different color. And the reading I've done say that you're really supposed to use the red tomatoes for canning.
Okay.
So that's why I really like the big beefs. They're
The acid
great
levels,
eating.
very
Yes,
consistent.
exactly. And the other ones you really have to eat fresh, and they don't. You don't have to, but I find them best to eat fresh, and they don't travel well because they're so fragile.
Right, the skin's thinner, they're sweeter. I can
Yes,
see
and
that.
they tend to split, and so they make it over to the farm stand, and to people's homes, and that works the best. So.
Yeah, Jill was telling me earlier that you had been selling at the Norfolk Farmers Market, but that now you're really sticking more to the stand here just for that reason.
Yeah,
because of transportation.
Exactly. And
that
the
makes
other
sense.
thing is, I found it took a lot of my concentration. It's hard when you're trying to pick this many vegetables to think, is this one ready or is this one not ready? Instead, and it used to drive me crazy getting ready for the farmer's market because you'd be 3 days ahead. I'd be thinking, should I be saving this one for the farmer's market? Is it going to last? Is it not? Am I going to have enough? Because I had to bring a lot.
Whereas if you just have to walk across the street to your farm stand, it's perfect.
I just pick whatever is ripe that day and I bring it over.
Right.
And I don't have to worry about not having enough. And then we
Can't
have
get more
Friday
local than
night.
that.
Yeah, we have Friday night. Yes, it's so local and it's so fresh. And used to take all Friday and all Saturday.
Oh, gosh.
And it was just a lot.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I might go a couple times because I really like the farmer's market. I'd like to support the farmer's market.
Right.
But for my own
Mental
well-being and and exhaustion level,
Yeah.
it's easier for me to just bring them over there.
Sure.
Do you know how many varieties you're growing?
At the top. What do you think, Daryl? 15 maybe?
Okay.
What's that?
15 varieties of tomatoes?
Oh gosh.
I'm thinking maybe.
About right.
I think about 15. I could count them up for you, but it would
Yeah,
take
just
a while.
curious. What's your favorite one for eating?
It's sort of like asking which is your
I
favorite
know.
baby.
I know.
I really
know.
love them all. I only grow the ones that I really like, but they really are all delicious. I really love them all.
Yeah.
I hate to say,
Yep.
but it's true. I would say the heirlooms that people love are the striped German and the Cherokee purple.
Mm.
And people really do love these big beef. That's why I grow so many of them.
You can't beat it for a BLT.
Yeah, they're just so yummy.
Now, can you explain this, your system, how you train them? This is really interesting.
Yes.
Amazing.
So, and what you do is you clip down at the bottom of the plant to anchor it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we used to take the clips and clip them all along as they grew up. I have recently, if you come down here, you can see, this is my husband. He still likes to do them this way. I've started, and see that I've just started tying the string when we started running out of the string. And then I clip them at the bottom and then I twist them around.
Right.
Instead of clipping them, because it's all about saving work. And I don't like having to pull the clips off at the end of the year when I'm taking everything out. It takes forever. So now I can just pull them up and whoop, and they are, once I unclip the bottom, they come right out.
And I noticed that you're snipping off some of the lower branches.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing a little pruning right now.
Yes. What I'm doing now is trying to get through all of them for the first time. But see how they all grow out from the bottom, and it likes to turn into kind of a shrubbery. Right. And I don't want a shrubbery. I want it to go up like this so I can see them easily. It gives them better airflow, and it's easier to pick and to see your weeds and everything.
So you're trying to focus on one strong,
pretty much
leader.
One strong, straight leader.
Yeah.
And I usually will let a couple go here and there, and then I'll snip off. I'll snip off up here, up above where the flower is. Mm-hmm. So now that'll stop growing, and these will still produce.
Mm-hmm.
But
I remember reading something about that you want to prune out if you see something coming in the sucker. That's a sucker, and that's taking away energy from the plant.
Exactly. Yes, so you can pitch that right off.
Yep.
Exactly. And actually, what's happening down here? These are suckers too. See these, and they will continue to grow like that, and they will produce.
Yeah.
But you just don't want to have the energy of the plant going into producing all of these.
Right.
So,
now, do you feed them as well, or
yes.
is the soil the source?
No, we feed them. I also put some composted manure in, and we have this the North Country fertilizer that we put in when we plant them. And then we have the fish emulsion.
Oh,
and I feed them fish emulsion every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
That's like my secret.
No,
we do it too.
Yeah, and it really makes them taste so much better.
It gives them all that micronutrient.
Yes.
And it also like almost inoculates them. It really seems to help with fungal conditions and disease.
And then I pretty much stick to the fish emulsion.
Because that's a slow release. So that's really going to go through the season, and then the fish emulsion keeps
and
them.
they seem to be
going.
happy with the fish emulsion.
They certainly look happy.
You can tell I don't have a lot of formal training.
So how long have you been doing this?
Well, we moved here in 2010, and we started doing some things that summer, but we didn't really, I don't think we did, I can't remember whether we did the farmer's market that summer, but we've been doing it for at least 10 years now.
Wow. So you came from a non-horticultural, non-farming background.
Exactly.
And you just decided
This is what we want to do.
our second act is going to be farming.
Yes.
Exactly right.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah,
great.
and it's been fun, and people have been so supportive.
Yeah.
They have been supportive at the farmer's market initially, and now they're coming to the farm stand, and I think they seem very happy about having the tomatoes, and that makes me feel good.
Yeah. Oh, your farm. When you come to the farmer's market, the table is just loaded with all those beautiful colors and shapes and sizes,
pretty.
and it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's
And that's so
and
satisfying
nothing-
when you pick everything and you see it all together.
It tastes better or smells better than a fresh summer tomato.
I know. It's true.
I mean, even just the
I know, even the greens. And I get so much satisfaction out of preserving so much of the things.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of canning. I do a lot of drying. I dry a lot of my herbs. And I freeze a lot. And I pickle. So we get to eat it all year long.
Yeah.
And it really is
I started
very
doing that
satisfying.
last year. This year we're going to work more together and try to
the
can more.
pandemic sort of threw a little monkey wrench into last summer.
Yeah, we
But,
basically, we lived 10 minutes apart, and we basically couldn't see each other for
so frustrating.
the whole year.
but this year,
Yeah.
I was just noticing, I want to talk more about pickling too, but I was noticing I can't get my eyes off the marigold.
I know. It's
Now,
funny.
But you did them on purpose, right?
I did.
As pest prevention.
Yes,
It's like a natural pest
exactly.
prevention.
That's what I'm aiming for.
And we always tell people,
Yeah.
to plant marigolds with your tomatoes because it's supposed to help repel, pests. So that's interesting.
Yep, so I do. I scatter them around.
But speaking of insects, you're in a hoop house, but you have no problem with pollination.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you noticed as I prune, I do this and then I do this. And I do
so
this.
you're the bee.
I'm the bee.
So just in case you don't get enough bees coming in, you're the bumblebee.
I am the
brilliant.
bee.
Okay.
Yeah, and what I've read is that the wind can do it also. So you see, I have everything opened up as much as I can, hoping that will help. But my husband and I do go around. We call it tickling the tomatoes.
That's hilarious.
Sold, and our kids were all off at college, and we just felt like we needed a new project. So we had started looking kind of all over. We had looked at a vineyard in California. We were thinking something that would be a project that we could work on at home. And then we realized that was too far away from our moms who were both needing prevention. So then we started looking in Vermont. We were looking at some farms there, and then we realized we really need to be close to them. And this came on the market, and we looked at it online. This is really great. And we drove in from this direction and just went, wow, we love it so much. So,
Did you know about Norfolk or this area?
no, not really. My sister and my mom are different. And so that was close by. So we were looking in this area, but we really weren't familiar with Norfolk itself. So we looked at this property, went around town, we went to the library, we went to church, we joined the curling club, we went to Infinity, we stayed at the Manor House, and just had such a great feeling that, no, I think this was right. And bought this place, and then started figuring out, what are we going to do with these 3 greenhouses? We're going to grow something. And we both love tomatoes. I've always been passionate about tomatoes. I just love them. And that's what we did, and it's grown, I would say, pretty much every year, all these years. So I start them in these, something like this, or like this. And I mix up my dirt and this old wheelbarrow, seed them all right there, and put them into that germinator down there. And it keeps them at a constant moist 82 degrees. And they pop up so fast. They'll pop up in a couple of days.
So it's got heat and humidity control.
Heat and humidity. You fill up the bottom with water, and there's a heat coil in there. And I can have more shelves in here if I want to. And you put this over it fits in, so it closes it up. And it can, even in the coldest weather, keeps them warm and toasty. And then I get my car over here and quickly run them into the back and bring them in. Because if I leave them in here, they get super leggy.
So from here, they go under grow lights.
In my house, yep.
And then from the grow lights, you pop them up, and then they come and live out here in the hoop house.
Yep, until it's ready.
And then they get
plant them
into their beds.
Yep.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. It's a labor of love. But very satisfying. So it's been fun.
It's truly gratifying to meet a local grower like Kristen, who's so excited about what she's doing, and she's so passionate about keeping it organic. She's coming up with new ideas on how to do things. And Melissa and I have always said there's no one way to garden, and Kristen really exemplifies that. She's coming up with her own ideas of how she wants to do this and what works for her. She's coming out with a hand vac and vacuuming the little bad bugs off her plants in the morning. And how brilliant is that? I've never heard of anybody doing that before, but she's doing it. And she's just finding new ways that work for her. And that's what gardening is all about.
So our thanks to Kristen Mudge and Broadfield Farm.
And we'll see you next time on New Digs.